Street raised, I was brought up where the G stayed. Peep game, those who didn't catch one to your brain. Stay in your lane, never wolfed it, boy, I never fake. Watch them break, watch them fall, still I remain. Never change, never try to come and rearrange. Never hate, never tripping on somebody's plate. That shit is lame, leave that type of shit for the dames. The streets don't play, they'll catch up, watch your life as capes. One game, homie, that you shouldn't play. There's real soldiers in the streets gunning every day. This shit is normal in the vital part of every day. It ain't great, but I'm loyal, so I'll never change. I keep repeating, but I mean it, never lose your way. Heed the warning and the missing just for talking brave. Fuck my enemies, two faces and all the snakes. Not for this matter, just name the time and name the place. We'll get it active, fuck the gap, and I'm in face to face. Real gangsters never fold, then we never shake. I was brought up to be ruthless.
You are now watching M.O.D. Entertainment.
What's good, G-Life? This right here is beautiful San Diego. And San Diego's the area where we'll be covering the first of the varrios in this one with unique names to them. Because San Diego does have a lot of neighborhoods, and you know, from time to time you are going to get neighborhoods that have some pretty interesting names to them. You know what I mean? One of them being the Varrio Pozole Locos. Barrio Pozole. Pozole Town, Pozole Loco, Barrio Pozole. Yes, pozole as in the food, pozole. Now, interesting and unique name, because if you try to look for an area named Pozole, you're not going to find an area Pozole. This area of San Diego, this part in Oceanside, you know, because San Diego being an area that is very old already, you know what I mean? You know, when geographically, when they were putting, you know, homes there and stuff like that, designing it, it dates back already, you know, a long time. And one of the first families to move into this area was this lady, and this lady used to sell pozole in a wagon, you know, to make her money, to make her income. So she would go around the town saying pozole, pozole, you know, because she would sell pozole. And so people refer to that part of the area as Pozole Town, you know, and that, at least how I was told, was the reason why this area is named Pozole. And that is where, you know, obviously these street kids grab the name and establish themselves as that, you know, as the area, you know, that's known for that, you know, because obviously they're going to be proud of the area in which they grew up in which they're struggling and all of that. So the area was referred to as Pozole Town. So hence where you get the Barrio Pozole name from. So coming from that lady in her wagon, it's a trip like that. And Pozole's barrio is pretty extensive. Their barrio is pretty large. It extends from Craft Street. From Craft Street, I would say their barrio extends all the way to Mission Avenue to Canyon Drive, and then all the way to McNeil Street. So everything that's in the middle is considered their barrio throughout Laurel, throughout Langford, throughout Lemon, throughout Shoshone Street, throughout San Diego Street being the heart of their hood, right there close to where the park's at, through the where the recreation center's at on San Diego Street. That's their domain, that's their dojo, you know, on Higgins Street, Pale Street, Holy Street, on Bush Street, close to Santa Barbara Street. All of that is their barrio, the heart of their hood, their dojo, their domain. You know, that's where they get it on and cracking at that park. And the Barrio Pozole is already a neighborhood that's been hit with all kinds of actions and motions, made headlines several times as well. More than 450 known members to this barrio, so a large barrio in a sense, probably the largest within this side of San Diego, the ocean side of San Diego, probably the most dominant neighborhood, the largest one. You know, they definitely hold it down for that P-Town, you know what I mean? Barrio Pozole ain't playing, and they still continue to represent theirs and hold theirs down. And this right here is Orange County. And Orange County is another location that has barrios with some unique names to them. One of them being one of Orange County's oldest neighborhoods. Because Orange County does have barrios that date back to the 1920s as well. Not just in Los Angeles. Simultaneously, barrios were popping around the same time all over the place. You know what I mean? Without having no knowledge of each other. Ain't that a trip? You know what I'm saying? And one of the old barrios and has a unique name to it is the barrio APC. Barrio APC translating to Barrio Anaheim, Penguins. So the Barrio Penguins, Penguin City. Now, why is this name unique? For the simple fact that if you try to look for a penguin city, you're not gonna find a penguin city, because it's not an actual location, nor is it a street. Now I have heard different versions of why they call it Penguin City, including from homies from that actual barrio who have told me different tales of why they call it that. So specifically, I really don't know why it's called Penguin City, because, I heard too many different versions of the story, including from homies from that barrio. It's just one of those things, you know what I'm saying? Just everybody just remembers it just a little bit different. Like I've always said, you're never going to get the 100% true story, because everyone's just going to give you their version of it. That's just the way it is. That's history, ladies and gentlemen. And now, their barrio is located on Harbor and Broadway. From Hardware and Broadway all the way to Water Street, and from Water Street all the way to Anaheim Boulevard. So throughout Santa Ana Street, that stretches through their barrio. So everything that's Helm, Lemon Street, also where the Little People's Park is at. The Little People's Park is their main domain, their dojo. That's where it be on and cracking, homie. You know what I mean? That parque right there is the park where this neighborhood's been doing their thing and continues to be there. Like I said, one of Orange County's oldest barrios. And still there, still ripping it strong, you know what I'm saying? And continue to hold it down for theirs. But yes, this is another barrio, the barrio Penguins. So Penguins is a real neighborhood. I do hear people always saying that it's not true, that it's a fake story and blah, blah, blah. No, this is a real barrio with real individuals that do real things, you know what I mean? But that's what's up with the Anaheim Penguins right there, representing for the Penguin City. This right here is the area that's known as Compton, but this barrio is pretty extensive. It extends through so many areas because I have already broke this down in a separate video talking about the barrio Tortilla Flats. Tortilla as in an actual tortilla, and flats. Now, I know people heard different versions of the story of how Tortilla Flats got his name, and the reason for so many different stories is because there's a lot of barrios that are named Tortilla Flats that are not connected to each other. You know what I mean? Different areas, established, this name. It's a coincidence like that this occurred. Because you had a Tortilla Flats that was in East LA. You have a Tortilla Flats that's in Compton. You have a Tortilla Flats that's in the Harbor area. You have a Tortilla Flats that's in San Diego. You have a Tortilla Flats that's in Northern California. So with so many different Tortilla Flats barrios, you're going to get different versions of the story, right? While some people say it started because of Tortilla Factory, it started because of the book, it started because of this and that and the third. Which version of it is true? Well, essentially they're all true, because there's so many Tortilla Flats barrios that have that name, and I'm pretty sure you probably met an OG from that barrio that told you that this is the reason why, and that's the reason why there's so many different versions of the story, because there's so many different Tortilla Flats barrios. So not just in Compton, Harbor, but San Diego, and in East LA, and then in Northern California. Like, you just have so many Tortilla Flats barrios. That is the reason why this occurred. Tortilla Flats is a real neighborhood that does real things, in each and every area in which it's located at, and when they're established, because essentially all the Tortilla Flats barrios are old, regardless, they all got their name for different versions. So depending which version you heard, if you heard it because of the book, if you heard it because of the tortilla plantation, if you heard it because of the flat area, the way the flat area was designed, there's different versions of the tale. So depending which version of Tortilla Flats you're talking about. But it is a real neighborhood and continue to represent for theirs. And this right here is the Southeast, the area that's known as Norwalk. Now, Norwalk is known for the Barrio Norwalk gang, but it's not the only gang in the city of Norwalk. There's several other gangs within Norwalk, and one of the ones that you have right here with the unique name is Barrio Peaceful. Yes, like you're a peaceful person. Barrio Peaceful Norwalk. Barrio Peaceful Norwalk is also located right here in Norwalk. It has no connection to the Barrio Norwalk gang, nor to the neighborhood Norwalk gang. There's several neighborhoods, that sound similar around right here because of the use of Norwalk, but they're all different barrios, have no connections with each other. And this Peaceful barrio is on Pioneer. Throughout Pioneer, you can find them to where the little lake park's at. That's their dojo, their main domain. That's where it gets on and cracking, homie. And this barrio's already old school, large, more than 105 members. I have homies from this barrio, so I know they do their thing. Solid individuals. And barrio peaceful, let me tell you, man, there ain't nothing peaceful about it. You know what I mean? It's just that's the area, that's known as peaceful, because you're not gonna find a street named Peaceful or nothing like that. It's just that within the time, Norwalk's being an older gang, and that section of Norwalk being, hectic because of all the gang violence, that area was seen as a little bit more, suburban, pues. But this neighborhood grabbed that term and just flipped it on them, and ever since then, they hit the gates running, homie. They've been doing their thing and continue to still represent right here. Shout out to my homie Peanut from Peaceful. Shout out to all the homies from Peaceful to be holding it down. And maintaining here in the southeast, but now moving along to the area of Santa Fe Springs. Santa Fe Springs, yes, is another area that does have neighborhoods, and one that has a unique name to it, which is the barrio Cantarranas. Now, Cantarranas translating to singing frog, so the barrio's name is Barrio Singing Frog. And the reason why it's known as Singing Frog is due back then there was a lot of frogs right there due to the vegetation that would grow right there. You had a lot of frogs there, right? So on the night you would hear the frogs, singing or chirping, however people want to call it. If they want to call it singing or chirping or mating call or whatever, you would be able to hear that. So the area was referred to as the area of singing frogs. So this neighborhood, grabbed that and just ran with it. This barrio already being an old barrio right here in this area, already dating back to the 30s, 40s. Some even say before that. So it's a real old barrio. Not only that, FBI has them ranked as a very notorious, dangerous gang that shouldn't be messed with, and that's coming out of them in reports. So when the FBI be saying that, my boy, then you already know it'd be cracking. Cantarranas is a neighborhood that has gotten hit already a lot with a lot of cases on itself too, with more than 450 members in the Cantarranas neighborhood, very large neighborhood within this area. With several different locations, because you can find them right there close to the Los Nietos Park on Pioneer Boulevard and Day Road. So everything throughout Seeker, Broad Street, all of that area, and then you can find them also located close to the city of Whittier on Norwalk Boulevard, and Flory, Winchell, Coolhurst, Ballflower Street, Viggs Drive, all of that. So they're located in two different locations. They have several clicas, from the Viejos to the Seekers and etc. So this neighborhood is another neighborhood that does real things, not to be messed with. The Cantarrana, definitely hold it down and continue to represent theirs. Gotta love them initials, that CR. But that's what's up with the Cantarranas, another unique barrio name. And this is West LA, the area where we could find another barrio with a unique name to it right here in the Hollywood area, which is the barrio FRS. Barrio FRS translating to barrio friends, as in amigos, your friend. That is what this barrio stands for, the only meaning to this barrio. Barrio friends is a neighborhood that has already been well established right here within the 90s. Was a crew that became a neighborhood. And you could find it written as in friends or AMG as in amigos. One of these unique barrios you can find, written in two different ways, because it does occur. Several neighborhoods do have that where, they could write it differently. The Barrio Friends is a neighborhood that's roughly smaller than the normal neighborhoods, probably the smallest one within that area. But nonetheless, a real neighborhood that does real things, only said to be around roughly to 50 to 55 members. Still, nonetheless, they hold it down for theirs, achieved the status because they were a crew that became a neighborhood, and they did legitimately become a neighborhood, and still represent for theirs, and the Barrio Friends holding it down for their area. And another barrio, right here in the southeast, with a unique name to it. I know the southeast is just definitely going to get a lot of attention in this one, because it is home to several barrios that have unique names to them. You know what I mean? And one of the barrios, also right here that has a unique name to it, is the barrio Chivas. Yes, barrio Chivas, as in the soccer team, as in the goat, as in the Chivas. Barrio Chivas is a real neighborhood right here in the southeast that does real things. One of these barrios that's well known within this area, because they're right there in the midst of the danger zone where all the barrios just happen to meet up and just, have pleito with each other. You know what I mean? it's a danger zone, homie. It definitely be popping, you know, because you have the Norwalk gangs there, you have the Artesia gangs there, and then you have Chivas, you have Carmelas. I'm telling you, it's just a war zone. Barrio Chivas is a well-known barrio that's located right here on 166th Street to Pioneer to where the 170th Street's at, and from 170th Street all the way to Parkside Avenue. So everything that's in the middle is what's considered their barrio. So what's 166th Street, 167th, 168th, 169th, Elliott Avenue, Arkansas Street, all of that it's considered their barrio. Not a large chunk of territory, but still there's nonetheless. The Barrio Chivas is a real neighborhood. Now, how they got their name, I was told different versions of the story. One saying due to the team, and then the other being that there was a goat plantation there, where they had goats, and due to the fact of that plantation having all the goats, is they just adapted that name to it. Obviously the Spanish term to it. So that's the reason why they call themselves Barrio Chivas, because of that. And ever since then, they've just been holding it down. An average size barrio, so not too large, not too small. Still up, still active, still doing their thing, and continue to hold it down for the Barrio Chivas.
Thank you for watching M.O.D Entertainment. Make sure you like and subscribe.